Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're talking about Melvin Gordon signing with the Denver Broncos. He is the newest member of the Denver Broncos and joins a very talented backfield with Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 2020 fantasy football implications of him joining this team, where exactly I see this backfield going in 2020, and who stands to improve, cough, cough, Austin Ekeler. We talked about just a couple days ago, last week, I put out a video talking about Austin Ekeler, the significance of his contract extension. We're going to reiterate some points there, but mainly talk about what exactly the Denver Broncos are planning on doing this season. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey, so I left that the Sean McVay transition on, but you know what? It's okay. Really quickly, before we start today's video, I want to go ahead and let you all know, again, I am in LA. I'm a Rams fan. I'm a Chargers fan here and there. Depending on the success of the team, of course. But regardless, we're in quarantine here with the coronavirus. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. I will be live streaming next week, Monday, 1 p.m. PST. So come drop by, talk, hang out, talk some fantasy. I'll probably be playing some sort of video games as, no one can go out to work and stuff like that here. But either way, let's talk about this Denver Broncos decision-making and the reason why they're bringing in Melvin Gordon. Now, there was a lot of uncertainty as of where or who is going to be interested in Melvin Gordon's services. We heard the Denver Broncos, we heard the Buffalo Bills, who were kind of a front runner for a little bit, and the Atlanta Falcons, and even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the Broncos prevailed, which we are kind of surprised about because Phillip Lindsay over the last 2 seasons has been absolutely incredible. But for some reason, I don't understand what it is, and I've been preaching this from the rooftops since the end of the 2018 season. The Denver Broncos just don't trust Phillip Lindsay. And I don't understand what it is. Is it the fact that he was an undrafted free agent rookie? The Colorado kid came in, took over the organization, and he beat out a guy that went to Oregon and was supposed to be the starter, Royce Freeman here. But, I don't know what it is. But Phillip Lindsay has been a very good running back in Denver. In fact, in 2018, despite all odds, this guy came in 192 rushing attempts, over 1,000 rushing yards, 10 total touchdowns, 9 on the ground, 1 through the air. Still got himself work in the passing game in his rookie season with 47 targets, 35 receptions for 241 receiving yards. And he surpassed the 200, total point mark in terms of fantasy in half PPR, 205.3. And in terms of like a running back, when you're over that 200 mark, averaging 12.5 a game, you get yourself into the conversation of potentially being an RB2, potential RB1, which he kind of was in 2018. This is a guy that averaged 5.4 yards per rushing attempt in 2018, and he only played 45.52% of offensive snaps in his rookie year. Imagine that. This is a guy that only played 45% of snaps. On top of it, he did miss games late in the season due to an injury that knocked him out for the rest of the season. But again, the underutilization of Phillip Lindsay going into 2019 was a big concern. Are they going to utilize him as they're supposed to and feed this guy the ball 70% of the offensive snaps? Or what exactly are they going to do? So we went into 2019 with a lot of hope, and of course they failed us again, and they screwed over Phillip Lindsay. He only had an increase of 4.5% of offensive snaps in 2019. Going from 45.52 to 50.34. Yes, his yard per rushing attempt average, still good, 4.51. Still a consistent monster in this backfield, yet we saw Royce Freeman get more work, especially in the passing game, which just confuses me. And we saw a lot of touchdowns go in the favor of Royce Freeman that honestly, for Phillip Lindsay and Phillip Lindsay fantasy owners, would have made a huge difference. This is a guy that, again, in his second season in the NFL, 224 rushing attempts for over 1,000 yards, 1,011, 7 rushing touchdowns, 0 through the air, no big problem there. But 48 targets, 35 receptions, similar to the year before, and 196 receiving yards for 180.2 points. Yeah, still, he was a top 24 running back. That's fantastic. Yet, there's so much more Phillip Lindsay could have done for this organization if he was just given the opportunity. I think they look at his stature, they look at his size, they think he can't sustain touching the ball, 300 times in a season. I would, probably argue that Christian McCaffrey can, and that maybe a guy like this can be given the opportunity. If you're going to let him touch the ball 250 times, what's an extra 50 touches, If you sprinkle that in a 16-week season, it truly isn't that many touches here and there. all in all, I think now that we go into 2020, the rumors are Phillip Lindsay will still be there again, undrafted free agent rookie, a very cheap contract. Royce Freeman is on the trade block, and Melvin Gordon probably comes in to take over the business. Now, here's the thing. Melvin Gordon has obviously had injury history in his career, but if Melvin Gordon is healthy, this is a running back that has been very good over the last couple seasons. Again, if you go back and you check out that Austin Ekeler video that I posted last week talking about his contract extension, a lot of that pertains to Melvin Gordon and his success. Again, Melvin Gordon is a running back that scored 10-plus touchdowns almost every single season when healthy for the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, last season, he even had 9 in only 12 games. This is a guy that is going to consistently find the end zone. He's also going to consistently make plays in the passing game. A lot of people don't really think of Melvin Gordon immediately as the pass catching back of the Los Angeles Chargers, but it was only a couple years back in 2017 when Melvin Gordon was the second highest reception total of that team in terms of just only behind Keenan Allen. So again, Melvin Gordon has been a very consistent running back, whether it's on the ground, through the air, and he's a 3-down back in my opinion. Now, when you pair him up with Phillip Lindsay, what does that do? It absolutely diminishes their fantasy value to just sand. It honestly gets to the point where I don't know exactly how to approach this. Unless we're going to see a Phillip Lindsay trade, a Royce Freeman trade, or something of that extent to where we can get some full commitment of Melvin Gordon, I expect a 50-50 split because that's what they've treated the Denver Broncos backfield as in the last couple seasons. And I think the trend is probably going to continue. They're going to use multiple running backs, and we're just going to have to hope that Melvin Gordon is that goal line back and that he's going to get more receptions than a guy like Phillip Lindsay. Again, they preferred Royce Freeman over Phillip Lindsay in the passing game over the last couple seasons. And if in fact they prefer Melvin Gordon over him, that is a good sign for his potential fantasy stock going into 2020. But again, this is an offense that has a lot of uncertainty. Sure, they're reassuring their offensive line pieces. They're drafting offensive linemen early. They're signing good offensive linemen this offseason. Their quarterback play, Drew Lock, the question is he the guy of the future? We're just going to have to wait and see. They have some receiving pieces. Courtland Sutton making plays. Noah Fant getting more experience. The fact is, can this backfield figure itself out? Can they approach this backfield correctly and give one of these two guys fantasy value? Or are we going to see two 800-yard rushers that both have 6 rushing touchdowns and 30 catches and 100 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown, and they both end up being low-end RB2s to the point where you can't start one unless they potentially score in that game? If that's the case, they're killing their own backfield and all the value there in terms of fantasy. And it'd be unfortunate to see, but that's just pretty much what the Denver Broncos are known for. That's their MO, in my opinion. In the last couple of years, as much as I've yelled, please feed Phillip Lindsay the ball 20-plus times, they refuse to do it. Am I surprised? Absolutely not. But it is what it is. Really quickly, what I kind of wanted to do, I kind of wanted to go back and I wanted to check something out for Phillip Lindsay. Because if I'm not mistaken, Phillip Lindsay, especially in 2018, was kind of a stud, and it was kind of ridiculous. Where is it? I swear I had a stat. Yeah, I mean, when I look at him in 2018, right, when Royce Freeman had like very limited usage, 6 RB1 performances, 5 RB2 performances, 3 RB3 performances. This is a guy that just was feasting week after week, and he was a nobody. Now, obviously, Melvin Gordon adding to his backfield, it helps the team. Does it help his fantasy value? It's only a matter of time until we see that, but I'm expecting, them to split it 50-50 down the middle. Now, the guy that, pretty much gets the most out of this, obviously, is Drew Lock, and the other one is Austin Ekeler. And I did mention Austin Ekeler earlier in the video. He was on a thumbnail for a reason. If you guys go back and you go and take the time to watch the Austin Ekeler contract extension video, that will be after the video, will be one of the suggested ones. Go check that out, because I truly do believe that Austin Ekeler can be a 3-down back this season, and that's why they've committed $7 million, for the next 3 years to him, because they know that Austin Ekeler is capable of it. Again, if you need a reminder, Austin Ekeler from weeks 1 through 4 of last season averaged 23.75 fantasy points per game in a half-point PPR scoring format. Even when Melvin Gordon came back, he averaged 14 fantasy points in a half-point PPR scoring format in the remaining 12 games. This is a guy that's inheriting 250-plus touches every single season from Melvin Gordon that is no longer going to be there. And Justin Jackson doesn't look like he's going to be gaining those touches. On top of it, he's going to be gaining 10-plus touchdowns a season. Again, Melvin Gordon, 12, 14, 9. Those are his last 4 seasons' touchdowns total, receiving and rushing. In my opinion, the conclusion of that video has something to do with the idea that if there's no one else joining Austin Ekeler with all the stats that I talk about in that video, and I've kind of reiterated a little bit here, but obviously not to great detail, is that Austin Ekeler is a huge winner this offseason and is going to be, probably a first 2 or 3 round kind of pick in fantasy. I've seen him go as early as 2-4 in second round, 4th pick, coming back around being paired with a guy like Aaron Jones. I'm excited for the potential of Austin Ekeler being unleashed next season. Kind of reminds me of Christian McCaffrey being unleashed after his rookie year. Christian McCaffrey in his rookie season had the split snaps and touches with a guy like Jonathan Stewart. Jonathan Stewart disappeared. They brought in C.J. Anderson. We all were worried, oh my God, C.J. Anderson, Christian McCaffrey's, he's only going to be a pass-catching back, even though in his rookie season he finished as a top 12 guy in half PPR. He was in the lower end because he caught so many passes. He ran C.J. Anderson out of a job, and I expect Austin Ekeler to run everybody out of a job this coming season. No matter who's at quarterback, it's going to get done. This team is improving. The Los Angeles Chargers defensively improved. Bringing Chris Harris Jr., speaking of the Broncos, you bring in Linval Joseph, one of the best nose tackle / one shade. You cannot move this man off the ball. That adds to your defensive line that is already stacked with Bosa and Ingram. Then you go ahead and you sign Brian Bulaga, one of the best right tackles in the National Football League, assuring that you are going to be able to run the ball this season and also protect your assets as your quarterback, whoever it ends up being, whether it's a Cam or a Jameis or potentially a potential draft pick in the coming weeks. But regardless, I think Austin Ekeler is a huge winner now that we can confirm that there is no more Melvin Gordon in Los Angeles playing for the Chargers. And I don't know, man. The Denver Broncos, you guys are doing it to yourselves. Pick one running back, run them into the ground, use a new one. Just do what everybody else does. Why do you guys got to use this 2 running back system? It's not going to really help you too much, and it hurts fantasy owners. But again, you'll do what you do, and we'll adjust. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Melvin Gordon signing with the Denver Broncos. It's a 2-year, $16 million deal, 13.5 guaranteed if I'm not mistaken. It's about an 8-year. No big deal there. But overall, I hope the best for Melvin Gordon, and I'm really excited about Austin Ekeler. So again, go check out that video if you guys haven't. Again, don't forget, 1 p.m. PST, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll probably try to stream every day. I'll be there talking fantasy, playing video games, seeing what's up. If you guys want to stop by, please do. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys. Peace.